Simon Maverick presents Into the Dark We Go by D.G. Woods. Read by Amy Hutchins. For Wes. Content warning. This book contains mature themes and graphic content that may be disturbing to some readers. Please be aware that the following topics are addressed within the story: grief and loss, substance use, murder and graphic violence, gore and disturbing descriptions, retrospective mentions of domestic violence and sexual abuse, references to suicidal thoughts or behaviors, depictions of torture. Reader discretion is advised. If you are sensitive to these themes or have experienced trauma related to any of these topics, please consider your own emotional well-being before proceeding. Chapter 1. May 2017. "Are you scared?" he asked. I'd gone camping with my parents a couple of times as a kid during our trips to Florida, but we always stayed on campgrounds with other tourists. Even though the grass was slick and spotted with pits deep enough to swallow me whole, and my mother had warned me about alligators, I wasn't scared. I knew I was safe. But now, alone with only darkness surrounding us, every sound made me flinch. I stiffened by the embers of our dying fire. Ghostly fingers walked up my spine and brushed my lips. I felt like I was being watched. I wasn't sure what I feared, some kind of Blair Witch presence hungry for blood, or a human lurking in the trees, watching and waiting for us to fall asleep in our flimsy tent. We smoked a joint, and Lucas laughed while I grew increasingly paranoid, constantly listening for footsteps and cracking twigs. He tried to distract me. "Look at the stars now," he'd say, raising his face towards the dark abyss above us. "Amazing, right? It's like the sky is breathing." But all I could see were the looming trees, monstrous giants with bare branches clawing for their next feast. He told me stories of camping with his buddies back home, always emphasizing that rule number 1 in Appalachia was to stay out of the woods at night. When I asked him why he'd ventured in, he claimed he wasn't scared of anything in life, and that fearlessness was its own kind of protection. But I was terrified, praying for dawn to come. Yet the darkness only deepened. Eventually, it was time to retreat to the tent. Lucas quickly fell asleep, but I lay awake, panicked, as the woods stirred with sharp cracks and tinny echoes and howls that shook the roots beneath us. I listened intently, rigid and ready to flee at the first sign of danger. That was the only time I'd gone camping with Lucas. September 2020. My phone buzzed, interrupting the bleakness of my morning routine. The caller's ID showed a Missouri area code, so I declined and blocked the contact. The constant barrage of unwanted calls and messages had numbed me. Usually spam, or worse, journalists and podcasters seeking to dredge up memories of Lucas. Some had even tried their luck for a confession, picking over my wilted heart like swollen maggots. Yet I never bothered to change my number. At first, I held onto the hope that Lucas might try to reach out from wherever he was. But as time passed, that hope faded. The unwanted calls, and even those from friends who were avoiding me, became fewer and farther between. I couldn't blame them. In one of my psychology lectures, our professor shared a theory that people are more likely to believe the worst about others. "It's a means of self-preservation," he said. "If you suspect someone close to you is capable of something terrible, like murder, wouldn't you instinctively try to protect yourself by keeping a safe distance, even without concrete evidence?" I never imagined that, of all the psychological theories, I'd have to implement this one in my life. Just
Sample complete. Ready to continue?